welcome to my review of The Legend of Korra Season 1. Korra was made by the same people that did Avatar The Last Airbender, Michael Dante D'Amaro, and Brian I'm getting butchered this. Korra? Again, I probably butchered that. Korra was on Nickelodeon from April 14th, 2012 to December 19th, 2014. I put on in quotation marks because it was taken off an Echo upon Nick.com during its Season 3 one, to my understanding and from what I remember and saw on the interwebs. Gotta love both companies sometimes. Season 1 while was Brian himself. I'm not gonna try to pronounce his last name again. I did one try. I know I killed it. Season 1 director was Joaquim dos Santos, who done work on Teen Titans, Justice League, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And I will go over the voice cast real quick and go over any words I would know them from. Starting off with Korra herself, played by Jeanette Bailey, who played Wonder Woman in the Injustice movie, and Connie Camp and Mindy Holland in Psych. I think that's the first time I mentioned Psych in my reviews. Great show, until it wasn't. Anyways, besides the point. Mako is played by David Faustino, who played Fox in The Batman, Starburst of Sad Shock, and Bob Coleman in Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. Berlin is played by PJ Bryant, who also played Isaac in Final Destination 5, and Busby Berlix in Hannah Montana. Asami is played by, I'm gonna butcher this, Sachiel Gabriel, who also played Princess Yue in the live-action The Last Airbender movie. Because, Avatar the Blue Cat people are coming out at the same time, so they couldn't name the movie Avatar The Last Airbender. Well, it's best for us not name Avatar. Tenzin is played by J.K. Simmons, who also played Wade Erling in Mantis in Justice League Unlimited, Kai in Kung Fu Panda 3, and J. Jonah Jameson in a lot of projects, namely the Spider-Man Raimi trilogy. Lastly, Amon is played by Steve Bloom, who plays Wolverine in a lot of different projects like the Deadpool video game, Killer Croc in the Arkham games, Zeb in Star Wars Rebels and Stormtroopers and Star Wars properties, Vilgax, Heat Blast, and Ghost Freak in Ben 10, depending on the series, and Orochimaru, Okuno, and Zabuza and Naruto. And now with all that out of the way, let's move on to the review, starting with a good place to start. Episode 1. The five ancient colonies in the Earth Kingdom got turned to Republic City. Korra is the new Avatar. He knows Earth, Wall, and Fire Building right off the bat. See, what they wanted to do with Korra was make her the anti-Aang. Basically, the opposite of Aang in every way, shape, or form. Aang started off with only airbending. Korra starts with everything besides airbending. Korra is hard-headed. Aang wasn't so much of a hothead, etc. And I get that they don't want to retread old ground, but it's like, oh, you gotta learn the elements. But, there's character moments in there and stuff like that. And also, too, by having your character know all the elements at, the age of, I think we see her, I forgot, but, young, not, early teens, young. I get that we're not trying to retread our ground, but I feel like not having her do that, as the first scene introduction, probably would have been the best, because it does kind of rubs people the wrong way, but it's like, oh, look how easy she does. If she didn't do that, then, and just cut that scene and just show off, her training for all elements, and, the next scene, would have been fine. It's the fact that she's a kid but does it, but it's kind of feels a bit diminishing of what the past avatars have to do, because from what I understand, none of them were able to do that. So just, again, I get not trying to go ground, but you could have done that in a better technical way than just she's 5, she knows how to do it that way. Besides one element. Now, at least make it seem like she has to train. It goes she has to pass her, firebending test. But it's does she really? Well, she seems like she knows what she's doing at 5, so. But anyways, besides the point. Next step is training with Tenzin to learn the spiritual side of bending and airbending. Korra has a polar bear dog named Naga. Tenzin arrives at the southern wild tribe with his family. Tenzin is the son of Aang and Katara. Tenzin can stay because he's one of the councilman of Republic City, and shit is going on. Korra can't go to Republic City because she is supposed to stay in the Savawara tribe by the white lawyers. She tries to sneak off. T'Challa sends Cole off as like a passing of a torch moment. Cole made it to Republic City. Chaos happens with Nago. Go illegally fished because she has no money. There's an anti-banning movement led by someone named Amon, which we get to when we get to it. Korra stops some monsters. Korra gets arrested along with the monsters because she destroyed more than what the monsters did. We meet Chief Lin, the daughter of Toph. Tenzin got the charge drops by paying for everything. Tenzin agrees to let Korra stay. Since Korra has been shut all her life, she isn't the best at the press and handling situations. Amon seems to be the seasonal villain. Like, the original Avatar had seasonal villains, like season 1 was Zuko, season 2 was Azula, season 3 was Ozai. But like, it was blended so well together, it doesn't feel like seasonal villains. This is clear-cut seasonal villains, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that, 100%. But it's like, when I hear discussions of the change, it's like, oh, Korra changed to seasonal villains. It's like, yes and no. Seasonal villains have kind of always been a thing in Avatar. It's just the change for definitely it's like change for focus of which one is like the main villain of said season. Even though the overarching villain is the Fire Nation. Well, I do like this episode. Korra is a fine protagonist. I do appreciate them not wanting to be like, it's Aang again, because that would be boring. So I do appreciate them trying to do something else with Korra. But again, we get to Korra and all that stuff a bit later as we see the story progress. And I do like the technology advance in this world over 2 generations, because it's been like 70 years. Opposed to like Boruto, it's like 1 generation, a huge technology jump. It's like less believable. I mean, other than that, like this show slowly introduced characters and concepts over the period of the first 3 episodes. This was very much introduction to Korra. Here you go, which there's nothing wrong with. Also, too, I try to listen to the audio commentary because each episode has one. I couldn't. A lot of the stuff they talk about is stuff you can pick up from just watching the show. And I only watched it for the first 2 episodes because I could not sit through the other 10. Because it somewhat also bugged me too. They were talking about stuff but it's not matching what's on screen. I'm like, I get it, but at the same time, it's like I would like what I'm seeing matching what's being talked about. At least somewhat. And that bugged me. So I think I would have liked it better if it was like just a podcast and stuff like that. But again, that's besides the point. And me being bugged by things that ultimately probably don't matter. But since I did do notes on the first 2 episodes, audio commentaries, I'm just gonna go over them for the first 2 episodes, and then we can go from there. There was some pushback of Korra being the main character because of her gender, because the statistics say, oh, action cartoons don't do that well with female leads.
Well, the chart says.
And when we did testing for it, the boys were like, we don't care. Because ultimately, fun fact about action cartoons, if action is cool, like good, like, that's the important part. So, but executives and their stats and charts and whatnot. And there was supposed to be an Amon fight in the first episode, which I'm glad they decided against that because that would feel so false in this first episode based off what we do have of it. So moving on to episode 2. There's pro bending as a sport and Tenzin doesn't like it. Tenzin doesn't want Korra to have any distractions while learning air bending. First lesson is to be like the leaf and flow with a movement of moving gates. Korra's having a hard time with it because she cannot empty her mind. Korra's eavesdropping on God is listening to pro bending, but Tenzin caught her. And then Korra again is having a hard time meditating, clearing her mind. When it comes to airbending, Korra sneaks off to go watch some pro bending. Korra got caught by staff, but a random guy named Bolin steps in and says, she's cool, she's supposed to be here. Also, too, in the audio commentary, they said that the trainer, the person that caught Korra, was supposed to have a bigger role in the show, but that got cut. Bolin has a brother named Mako, and they're all both pro benders. Pro bending seems like a fast and fun game watching for sure. You really pick up like what he's supposed to do. Each team has a earth, fire, and water bender, and the goal is to push your opponent back as much as you can for 3 rounds, or if you knock out everyone out of a wing, you automatically win. So, fun stuff. Mako pulls a Yusei and wins a 3-on-1. Bullet and Mako have one more win to get into the championship. Korra tells Bullet and Mako that she is the Avatar. Korra destroys removing gates after releasing her cool. Korra and Tenzin aren't just clicking as master and student. Korra joins Bullet and Mako's team after their waterbender quit. Korra's having a hard time since she doesn't know the rules. Probably should have thought of that. Korra got found out that she's the Avatar when she oathbends, and Tenzin knows that she is there. After having a talk with his wife Pamela by giving Korra more freedom, he was about to do that. He's like, oh, why'd she decide that for herself, huh? Korra can only wallbend for pole bending. Tenzin tries to get Korra back, but they got into a fight. They both have good points, like she needs to learn more about fighting, and that being the Avatar isn't all about fighting, which is very true. Korra's moving like relief to keep in the game. Korra apologized for taking her angle out on Tenzin, and Tenzin apologized for losing his cool. And I do like, after this episode, the bond between Tenzin and Korra. I think is very well done. Tenzin does have reserve about Korra sometimes, but he does ultimately trust her and believe her, and it's a very sweet relationship. So I do like that this is kind of the foundation of that relationship. And Tenzin also mentions that pole bending is a good teacher for Korra. I like this episode. A varying thing in the oral commentary that I didn't mention before that's interesting is that pole bending was made before Korra was a concept. But how do I feel about other stuff? Like I said, pole bending is an amazing fun time. Berlin, I don't like Berlin. It feels like they try to make a Sokka too without understanding why Sokka was funny. Berlin is just kind of annoying. He talks very fast, which I'm sure that's exactly the direction the actor was given. And the actor pulls it off well. He's so annoying. Interjects when I feel like he shouldn't. And the only thing he really brings to the table in this season is his oath bending, which he doesn't really do too often, but when it does, well, other than that, I don't find him as funny as Sasuke. I was about to say Sasuke, as Sokka. And Mako is a fine character, but I feel like his purpose in this show, at least in this first season, for the most part, love triangle. He has other stuff going on, he mentions wanting to look out for Berlin, which I do appreciate, and stuff about the parents, which I also do appreciate, but the main focus is, actually, I'm not even sure if it's a love triangle, because we get to it, but it's like a love, I don't even know what. I drew the shape for a friend, for over 4 seasons into relationship with it all. And actually currently right now it's a love L for season 1. It's a love L because we all lose. But again, we get to it when we get to it, but yeah. Moving on to episode 3. Korra, Berlin, and Mako need $30,000 to continue the tournament. A streak gained access Berlin for help. Mako found a job at the power plant. Tofu is about to happen. Berlin has been kidnapped along with the gang he's helping. The kidnappers have an anti-bending fighting style with sheep blocking and gets away. The kidnappers are the Equalists, aka Amon's group. Berlin and Mako used to work for the gang to get by. Berlin and Mako's parents got killed by Amako. I'm pretty sure it was specifically a firebender. I have some serious thoughts about a lot of things after we get through this episode. Korra and Mako interrogated a speaker for vehicles and got a map for the meeting place. Amon said that a firebender took his family in his face. Amon said that bending is a cause for every war, which is probably true. Amon shows that he can take away people's bending, which, by the way, also too, the animation for the show is always top notch. I love it. I love the backgrounds of the show. The show is beautiful. I feel like I have to say that after that statement because it's very true. And especially when Amon takes away the bending. Beautiful. Korra makes steam so Mako can grab Berlin. Mako and Berlin get beaten up, but Korra comes in with a save. Korra tells Tenzin what happened. Tenzin's I don't believe someone was able to take someone's bending away besides Aang, and then he goes I believe you. Which again just shows the evolution of a relationship since episode 2. But this episode within itself is fine, I think, but I have a lot of issues. One, each time we talk about someone losing someone due to bending, it's always a firebender. It's never a raw bender. I mean, airbenders are extinct, so that's your excuse, but an oath bender Because, like, in season 3, we see how deadly airbending can be. It really takes your breath away. But it'd be nice to be like, oh, like a waterbender killed my dad. Because we can, that's very possible. Or like an earthbender,
I threw a rock at him. It was a big rock.
smoosh him to death. Like, and I was a little comedic edge to that statement. But, like, still, like, it's always Firebender because I feel like it's like, oh, remember how bad the Fire Nation was during Avatar? And it's like trying to invoke those memories of that. But it's like, if you try to paint all bending as this evil, tainted thing that's like evil, it must be when to make everyone equal, have it so like different bendings do shitty things to another. Like they kind of do it, but not really. Also, too, the Eclipse, they claim that, oh, the Bendos are bullies and blah, 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 blah. But, like, an issue is when, for one example we see of, like, Bendos being bullies so far in this show, in this season, to prove this point, Gang in episode 1, and Korra being of a shelter baby that she is talking to an Eclipse speaker. Other than that, you don't really see that. Now, the Eagles say, oh, we gotta make everyone equal, take away the bending, but, like, they do a pretty fucking good job against Bendos for not being non-Bendos. So, the whole idea is like, oh, taking away people's bending is the only answer to make everyone equal. When it's like, you seem to have equal out the playing field pretty well by being chi blockers and having these lightning sticks and being able to, like, just go toe-to-toe with them that way. So, we saw, like, people also, too, if you watch the original series, kick ass without bending. Sokka, Mei, Ty Lee, to name a few, Jet. Like, there are multiple characters without bending that were able to pull up a fight. So, and I get like, oh, you know, Bendos can take away life. So can non-Bendos. We see them kick ass in this show. And I know, like, also too, Amon is specifically a commentary on communism. He throws the communist fist up, I believe, specifically in this episode. And I feel like you can apply the message more broadly and stuff like that. But I feel like they could focus more on the message of making people equal and what that entails and what it truly means to be equal, etc., etc., but they don't do it. It's a very interesting concept, especially in this world when people are born with different abilities based off bloodlines. And, you know, there's also different ways that people are born unequally, like financial status, for example, or like physical health. For another example, some people are just born with a water and physical health card. And stuff like that. Out of anyone's control. But, like, they don't dive deeper into such a segment. And I feel like it's very surface level for such a concept that you can really explore and have this, like, gray area. And I don't feel like they really made it that gray. They kind of tried to, but not willing. And this one specific thing that they focus on, which I wish they didn't focus on, to focus on the main talking points of the season, equality, and again, what that truly means. And it's kind of disappointing. Again, we get to it because it's a specific episode where everything goes to shit, per se. Not really, not the show quality dipping, but like, it's something that I wish we didn't focus on so much, to focus on, again, the season's message. But again, we get to that. And I feel like Amon could be a really interesting villain if it just didn't take those extra steps. I know his really first appearance and stuff like that, but like the problems are, like, I feel like propping up now with him and his ideology and stuff like that. So, unfortunately, that is the case. Again, this episode has beautiful animation. I feel like I had to say that too. I was blown away at one specific shot. Well, with the whole taking away the banding, and also too, like the Eclipse, like finding Korra and Mako when Bolin got kidnapped. I was stunned there for a second with how good that looked. But moving on to episode 4. Korra's having a nightmare about losing her bending. Tarlok, a council member, wants to lead attack force against Amon despite Tenzin's warnings. Amon hijacked the airwaves to send a message to it's time to rise up against the Bendos. Mako got hit with a screw and we meet Asami. Tarlok is visiting Ao Temple island and invites Korra to jump attack first, but Korra turns him down. Asami is the daughter of Satum. Make up a Satomobile. I was about to say, why egomaniac names a car after themselves? And then I'm like, wait, Fode. Never mind, I get it. It's like, I get it. Berlin thanks Korra for saving him last episode. Tarlok is doing anything to get on Korra's good side. Satum gave Mako the money so he and the others can play a pro bending tournament. Tenzin asks Korra if she's okay. He also tells her it's okay to be scared and we should talk about it. Tarlok puts a party in Korra's honor. Tarlok throws Korra to the press to get Korra to publicly state that she's joining the task force. The task force took down a secret Eclipse base. Mako and Bolin feel like Korra is now doing her part of the pro bending team, which they really don't focus on, really don't talk about, which that could have been interesting. Korra challenges Amon to a duel.
It's time to do.
Not the card game variety, unfortunately. Mako wears his father's scarf. Korra got sucker punched by Eclipse. Then Amon shows up. Baker's like, I won't take away your bending yet, because if I do, Pun's gonna be on my ass about it. And I can't have that yet. So he goes like, I'll let you be. Korra breaks down to Tenzin saying that she's been scared the whole time. I like this episode. I think it's a nice little episode to show Korra's psyche. And honestly, too, Korra wants to be the Avatar. So, of course, his biggest fear would be losing her bending. Again, that's another, point to her being the anti-Aang. She wants to be the Avatar, and Aang really does not want to be the Avatar. I like Tarlok as a character a lot. I feel like he's very well done. Asami, she has some moments, and she has, a arc, and I like her relationship with her father, but she's also part of that damn love triangle that takes up so much time. I'm not saying that's all of her character. I feel like out of the three characters, a part of a love L. Besides Korra, I feel like she has more of a leg to stand on besides just the love L, which is appreciated. But she's unfortunately a part of that sucker too. But in Toho Whiplash, episode 5 begins with Korra training with her teammates. She's mentioning, hey, Tarlok isn't happy about me taking a break from the task force. And when I watch this, I'm like, because the last episode ended with Korra breaking down in Tenzin's arms, and to have the next episode start with a whole pro bending and be like, yeah, casual conversation. I'm like, that's a bit of a whiplash. And again, I guess that's the consequences of benching it. But Korra is jealous of Asami and Mako. Bolin plans on asking Korra out. Getting love advice from kids might not be the best idea, Korra.
Best way to win a boy's heart is to brew a love potion of rainbows and sunsets that makes true lovers sprout wings and fly to a magical castle in the sky, where they get married and eat clouds with spoons and use stars as ice cubes in a moonlight punch, forever and ever and ever.
Tenzin's wife, Pamela, says, just confess your love to Mako. Pro bending tournament go. Korra's team won the first match. Korra tries to ask out Mako, but Mako turns her down because he's seeing someone. Words advice, by the way. Yeah, just ask them out when they're seeing someone. I know it worked for you, but Tenzin explains that he and Lin were phasing out at the time. Korra says yes to Bolin, asking her out after turning him down at first, which is such a quick rebound because Bolin asks her immediately after. She's like, yeah, fucking go. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? It makes Korra unlikable, honestly, because you rebound that fast to the person's brother? What the fuck's wrong with you? The 3-time champion Totoro tries to pick a fight with Korra, but fails and succeeds to pick the fight because if Korra hits him, they're out. Korra resisted. Marco is wondering what Korra's gain is with Bolin, which is failed because, what the fuck. Korra and Marco got into a fight, but if Marco likes Korra or not. Korra's team is struggling. Marco and Korra are fighting. There's a tiebreaker that Bolin won. Korra kisses Marco after he said he likes her, but Berlin saw. Korra's team is struggling worse now. Korra pushes through and wins the match. Our heroes is going to the finals. Our drama is here for now. And they really don't talk about it. They just kind of briefly talk about it, which is fine. But I feel like it is such a band-aid, and the drama is only going to continue. I don't like this episode, because this is where the L was forming. Because you have Berlin liking Korra, Korra likes Mako, Mako likes Asami, Asami likes Mako, Mako likes Korra, and it's like an L. Doesn't connect, it's an L. I mean, I guess it's a square, I guess, because it's a triangle with one extra end to it. It's, I know technically it's a love square, but it doesn't feel like a square, it's an L. But, like, I hate it. It's not interesting. And it makes everyone, besides Berlin, which is the character I don't like, really the only character on quote-unquote Team Avatar that I don't like that much, the most likable character to me. Because he does nothing wrong. Like, he didn't know that Korra just axed out his brother, and he doesn't know that. And, Korra rebounding so fast is not something to root for, cheer for, or anything like that. It's pretty fucking terrible of him, with no redeemingness whatsoever to it. And then, Marco's fine in this episode, in terms of the relationship thing. He gets worse with it, but, like, he tries to set his ground and be like, hey, Korra, I'm seeing someone else. And Korra doesn't respect that really at all. Again, not making Korra the most likable person. And then something we don't, also is kind of second most likable character in terms of the love L in this season. But we really don't see her perspective on things until later. Again, this is the thing they focus on instead of like the themes of equality and what that really means, and exploring your villain's ideology fully more, getting a greater understanding of that. We spend time with it. She love L. But moving on to episode 6, Amon announced that he wants the pro bending finals to be cancelled. The council votes for it to be cancelled. Lynn shows up and says that she would take responsibility for the safety of the people in the arena, so pro bending is back on. Tenzin says that Lynn is his ex, that's why she's so upset with Korra. Tenzin got Lynn to loosen up a bit. The final stop, the West don't call any of the files for opposing team for free time champions because they've been paid off. How's that good press? But literally by now it's just like, these guys are fucking cheating, but the West aren't calling it, so they must be paid off. Like, how's that good press for you? I don't understand. Korra's team lost. The Equals attack with some new fancy gloves. Amon shows up and takes away the winning team spending. Amon tries to get away after a speech, saying, well, look at these shields right here. They're all the people you're champion. You know, blah, 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 blah. Like, it was constantly put out what they were doing was wrong. Constantly. By the announcer. So to have this, like, this is the people you're champion, doesn't really work. Korra and Lynn work together to try to capture Amon, but Korra chooses to save Lynn instead of going for the terrorists, and Lynn returns the favor. This episode is fine. Like, the pro bending stuff is really fun, and seeing Lynn and Korra finally getting along is also fun, and I really enjoy the dynamic. But everything else with Amon, I kind of don't like, and he's the main villain. I just feel like his ideology is so flimsy, and again, needs depth and exploration too, but again, we really don't get. I mean, we somewhat get it later, but like, in terms of like what he is speaking now and all that stuff, I feel like it's very flimsy. You can easily pick holes through, and yeah, it's just not as enjoyable as I think it should be. Episode 7. Mako and Berlin are getting live with the Solomon since the arena's being shut down. Lynn found proof that Cabbage Cope was working with the Eclipse to give that sweet reference. Berlin has let the mentioned life go to his head away. Asami takes Vav was wasting. Korra's opinion of Asami has changed to be more positive. Korra hears Mr. Sartre talking to someone, vaguely, and she's like, oh, he's an Ecolith. Mr. Sartre's wife got killed by a firebender. Again, who else would it be? Korra told her opinion to her friends, and they didn't take that so well. Mr. Sartre dodged the blame by letting the cop search everyone. It's like, hey, phone call. I was just happy that Cabbage Cope went down as a survivor. We can take this opportunity to seize the day. Kind of a thing. And Korra still thinks something's up, despite no proof. She has no evidence to think this at this point in time. It'd be different if she saw him with a glove or something. Like, something was off with the room. But, like, she just overheard a phone call out of context, and what he gave for an explanation is like, oh, let's just, we're seizing the day because Cabbage Cope's down. Perfectly fine explanation. Nothing fishy about that, really. But no, we gotta have a conflict for the episode. Mako ended their friendship, which again, it'd be different if she saw the the friendship probably still ended. I just think the glove would, something would have been nice. Or like specifically she heard him say Amon, or something. You know, something a bit more, just a tiny bit. To make her go all out with her suspicions. and make it feel 100% justified. Korra got a tip to a non-bando not long ago. The tip is that Sato has a secret factory to make the gloves and new weapons. Found the factory, the new weapons is a tank, but it's really a mech, but they call it a tank, so tank. But so this was a trap, of course it was. Tanks attack, the good guys are being by Mako and Bolan are trying to save Korra, Tenzin, and Lin. Asami sees her father for who he really is, and he got a shocking realization that his daughter doesn't see the world the same way he does. Lin lost her officers and is going to resign her position on the force as she faced Amon off of the law. This episode's okay. Again, my main issue is that Korra's initial suspicion fine, but like, there need to be one more breadcrumb for her to like eat for it to feel like, okay, Korra has a point here. I was talking with Marco on this one, I'm like, yeah, it seems like you're doing this out of jealousy. Opposed to like, oh my god, this is 100% the case. I mean, all of that, the action again is awesome, but like, sometimes it legitimately is like, one small thing can change everything. And I think for this episode, 100% the case. But moving on to episode 8, Bolan, Mako, and Asami move to El Temple Island. Milo, one of Tenzin's kids, has a crush on Asami. Iki, one of Tenzin's other kids, tells Asami that Korra likes Mako, because why not? There's already a new chief of police and puts Tarlok in charge of dealing with the Equalists. My one thing is too, Tarlok is the face of corruption in the government. And once I have a picture later on, corruption goes away, which I don't like. Because this chief is obviously a puppet. But a puppet, once the strings are cut, like, he's fine. He walks. And it's just like, that's not how corruption works. One thing I like about Great Crusader, you saw that, despite as many flaws as a show, you saw like, oh, have Dan's a bit corrupt. You see Flash is a bit corrupt. Well, actually, the most corrupt. Bullock is kind of tealing a bit, but definitely more corrupt than Dent is. But you see like, oh, like Bullock is playing for Penguin, he's also playing for Phone, and stuff like that. It's multi-level corruption from different people and stuff like that. And this is just like corruption of the most simplistic level, and it doesn't work because it's not how corruption works, especially in government. Korra doesn't want to rejoin the tax force. Korra still can't airbend, which I wish there was a bit more focus on than just like mentions here and there after the second episode. Korra's been seeing Aang in visions and Tenzin told her to meditate on those visions. Asami, Bolan, Mako, and Korra form the new Team Avatar. Team Avatar tries to stop a jailbreak. It's fun to see everyone work together to get the Equalists. Tarlok wants Korra to stay out of his way. Tarlok passes anti-non-bando laws. Kind of really reminds me of like back in World War II, Japanese concentration camps, but Japanese camps to like gather them up and for them atonement camps. That's what we call them, pretty sure. Again, it doesn't really work because it's one person with that face, one person with that opinion. They could have done a better job of being, oh, now there's tension between non-bandos and bandos now, but wasn't there before because of Amon raising tensions. Korra's trying to stop the injustice against the non-bandos. Korra saved the non-bandos, but her friends got arrested. Police corruption is high, but again, it's just Tarlok. Korra goes sees Tarlok. Tarlok arrests Korra's friends to get her to fall in line. Tarlok attacks Korra. Tarlok kidnaps Korra after he bloodlands her. This episode's fine. Again, it comes down to like, I feel like the expansion of ideas not there where it should be. And again, with such a great topic of what this show is trying to portray and not dive deeper into, say, greatness, again, it really hurts this show, I feel like, and what it wants to do. And I get, you know, like, I hate to say it's a kids show, I get it, but being a kids show is not really an excuse for, like, deeper into topics. Because so many of met with kids have done such things. So I feel like punches are being pulled where punches should not be being pulled. And I know you can't go, there are probably definitely some limits. Because again, this is Nickelodeon. I get that. But like, also too, the creators chose this topic. One thing they did mention, I'm not sure how true this truly is, because I know there were some limitations in terms of one aspect of the show. But the creators said on episode 1 audio commentary, I'm bringing this up now, is that they had kind of free range to do whatever. So I'm not sure how much Zach's really interfered with the show based off that one comment. But like, I feel like, again, if you want to delve deep into such a topic as like, what it truly means to be equal and all that stuff, you gotta be prepared to dive deep. and the show doesn't do that at all. Oh, they surface level deep dive. But episode 9, Korra gets put into a metal cage because she came metal band. Tolok made it seem like equals attacked him and Korra instead of him and Korra fighting. Lin got Korra's friends out of jail. Aang showed Korra Yakon, a mobster from 70 years ago basically, getting arrested. Lin's group go to Tenzin to help him, get him to help them find Korra. They're looking for an Equalist base by retracing the steps of the Equalist when they kidnapped Berlin in episode 3. And Sami feels like Marco likes Korra more than he likes her. And Berlin tells her that Korra and Marco kissed, which, why Berlin? Why? Why would you do such a thing? It destroyed you and you go, oh, I'm over it now. Like, come on, man. And that's such an offhand comment, you brush it aside. I'm like, dude, that is not the way. If you can tell her, that's not the way to tell someone that. I know it's the Berlin way, but like, come on, bro. Lin found a secret tunnel within the secret tunnel. Double secret tunnels. They found a jail and freed the kidnapped officers. The gang realized that Tolok has Korra. More flashbacks of Yukon being tried for being able to bloodblend during any time instead of being like only during the full moon. Yukon, after getting a guilty verdict, blood bends everyone in the courtroom. Back in the present, Tolok's assistant rats him out about him being a bloodbender. Tolok escapes past again for a second. Aang took away Yukon's bending. Tolok is Yukon's son. Honestly, that resolution means nothing. If it's something later down the line, they use the Yukon explanation for motivation later down, but like for the most part, like for your Yukon stuff is fine, doesn't really add too much, but it's backstory, as Doofenshmirtz once said. Amon shows up at Tolok's. Amon can lock through bloodbending and took Tolok's bending away. Korra escapes and runs away from Amon. Korra is knocked out in the snow, but Naga saves him. The gang found Korra. This episode's fine. I mean, honestly, the most interesting mystery is how Amon found Tolok, and I like how if you know who Amon is, and like one thing that specifically happened and one thing that the game mentioned, because we were in jail when they mentioned, oh shit, Tolok has Korra, is that, actually, I'm just gonna say it. It's really revealed by Amon is Tolok's problem. So like it's kind of cool to see like, oh my god, that makes sense when the Equalist probably mentioned to Amon, hey, Tolok has Korra. Amon went to probably where he thinks Tolok is hiding out, took away his bending, and freed Korra. See, that is the much more interesting aspect of this episode than the Yukon stuff, which I think is supposed to be the bigger grab, but for me, it's a foreshadowing and how, like, if you watch that in retrospective, that clicks more. Personally, again, that's how I feel. Again, the relationship stuff in the trash. But, yeah, I mean, it's a fine episode. Nothing too long with it. Let's move on to episode 10. Asami still feels like Marco like Korra Mo. Pamela's baby is coming soon to feel near you. That'd be a weird thing to live stream or both on a field screen. People would buy it. I'm sure there'll be people line up on the stream Korra. Asami tells Mako how she feels about like how like Mako treats Korra. Tenzin wants Lin to help look after his family while he's away. The council members are getting attacked one by one. Tenzin beats his attackers. Amon sends in the airships, and then there's explosions everywhere. Korra can drive and park. Tenzin sends a wire to the general of the United Forces for backup. Tenzin and the police are being attacked by tanks. Team Avatar steps in with a save. Amon is attacking El Temple Island. Pamela's baby's coming now. Lin does a good job against the Equalists until she isn't. The Airbending kids save her. Tenzin and the gang return to the temple. The baby is born. Its name is Waha. Lin and Tenzin are going to protect his family as Korra is going to lay it low. Lin is going to take on 2 airships by herself, but is only able to take down one before she's captured. Lin loses her bending. United Forces would be at Republic City in 3 days with General I like this episode. The action is really fun in this episode, 100%. Well, I know too, this goes back to the Equalist thing, to make things more equal. It's like, oh, we gotta take away the bending to be equal, but you took down a fucking city full of benders, with your tanks, with your airships, with your explosions. I think the playing field is more than equal. Again, this goes back to the overall complaint of what does it mean to be truly equal and all that explanation. Because how, like, not that people will fall in line with this, because anything that people see unfair, they do hate and tend to not try and agree with it, sometimes blindly hate. You do see that in real life. I do agree with that. But, again, the gray area of this is not being discussed. And that is my biggest problem with this season. And I'll keep saying it, I keep hammering it home. But I feel like it's like a whack-a-mole. It keeps popping up and I'm like, nope, 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 nope. Keep knocking it down. Because it keeps showing its ugly face. But other than that, like, the episode's good. Lynn's bending being lost is tragic. For the time that she does actually lose it, we get back to that. But yeah, it's a good episode. Episode 11, bending's now illegal thanks to Amon taking over Republic City. Marco says he can't imagine life without Korra. Moving on. Well, he's still dating Asami. Technically, he says that to Korra. Second most unlikable. Korra's the most unlikable. In this season, we get to next season, because I remember something from next season. It's been a while since I've seen Korra. That makes me want to punch someone in the face very badly. But again, that's next season. We talk about that next season. But yes, it is about the love L. Amon's just taking all the bending away. So the man at law bending. It's taking bending away too, and it's like a huge line. It's like no one is trying to fight this. Like if it's like a huge ass line of benders just lining up to take it away, I'm like, no one. Like, I think if one person starts like bending, trying to get away, I bet everyone would be like, okay, let's go. But numbers fail. I'm pretty sure Amon, even though he is fucking a machine in terms of combat, could not handle that much people at once in his equalist army. But besides the point. United forces healed by Amon put mines in the wall. Amon now has planes, which bombs the United Forces ship. Korra helps out against the plane's General Arlo is hurt, but Korra saves him. There's a second wave of reinforcements on the way, led by Tenzin's brother Boomy. Team Avatar plans on grounding the airplanes, but Korra wants to face Amon, so Marco goes with her. Amon is going to be at the arena. Tarlok is in prison in the Air Temple. Amon is Tarlok's brother. Amon is also a bloodbender. Story time! Yakon escapes prison and changes his face with plastic surgery. Yakon was harsh when it comes to waterbending training with his kids. Yakon taught his sons how to bloodbend, because he's like, bloodbending is the most powerful bending there is. Amon became cold over the years due to training with his father. After Tarlok refuses to bloodband Amon, because Amon just finished bloodbending Tarlok, he's like, yeah, no, shit, I'm not doing that. And Cohen's like yelling at him, and so Amon is like bloodbending his father. Amon left after that. He's like, yeah, I'm done with this shit. Amon uses bloodbending to take away others' bending. I'm sure that's like chi blockage and shit like that, because it's technically not explained in the show, but like I'm sure the logic is like you fucking with the body's anatomy by using bloodbending. It makes sense. Sure, it's hand cannon. I'm sure maybe in an interview they say it somewhere, but they don't say it in the show. They go like, we don't know. Cohen wants to show his support that Amon can bend. This episode's okay, but your Cohen stuff, fine. Again, I'm not really too fond of that storyline. I'm not saying your Cohen couldn't be handled better, like, but I feel like he could've. So when it's like, oh my god, Tarlok and Amon are his sons, it's like, cool. Like, I really don't care. Tarlok is like, well, because of this, Amon probably thinks bending is evil because of bloodbending. It's like, cool. I know ideologies are always hypocritical. You always can find a hypocrisy here and there. That's ideologies. Despite what some people say and stuff like that, ideologies always contradict itself within a person, because we're human. Using the thing you hate the most to destroy the thing you hate the most is kind of the ultimate hypocrisy. It's kind of like Zamasu. He's like, oh, I became murder. Look at me. Feel for me. I became basically a disgrace to destroy our most. And he's actually crying. At that point, Vegeta and Goku is like, I'm sick of... Actually, I think at that point, Vegeta blew it. And it's just like, I'm done with this shit. I'm done with his yapping. But like, again, an issue with not diving down in Amon's ideology and explore that. It's just nothing there was just, oh, he's a liar, was exposed that. Instead, we're talking down about what he thinks. Because, again, that is a driving force for his motivations, what he thinks on bending and stuff like that. But they don't do that. Again, that is an issue. It keeps popping up. I know I'm peeing myself a lot, but I feel like it bears repeating within, like, every episode. Because I feel like it is an issue in almost every episode. But other than my normal complaints, the action in this is cool. Now I get when I saw the plans, I thought of a clip from like the License Guy. I could go, oh, they can fly now? Yeah, they can fly now, even though they've been flying for God knows how long. Like, in the short after that, I had blimps for God knows how long, air balloons and stuff like that, so it's like, you know what, that's appropriate. But yeah, the action is good, and that's all I really can say about this episode. Episode 12, I will bullet in a Asami got electric fence. He goes, oh, this is a fence with no wires. Walks through it, he gets shocked. I'm like, you guys really think there was nothing there? Even though you might not have heard the like concept of an electric fence before? Really? You didn't think anything was off of that? Cole and Mako crash Amon's way to tell the crowd that he's a bloodbender. Amon has scars that he says he got from a firebender, which causes the crowd to believe him and says he's not lying. I don't know what Cole was expecting, but hey. Amon has the L-benders. Capture them off screen is one wonderful thing. Salta knows what the second wave of reinforcements are, so he wants to send planes there to destroy it. Naga says the airplane crew, so they're going to try to ground some planes. Mako and Korra attack Amon, but L-benders are free. Bloodbending is a bitch. And OP. I mean, I'm glad we did like a seasonal villain with this ability, because it is a really great bending technique. And very terrifying, and I'm glad they expanded upon bloodbending from the like 2 episodes that it showed up in the original Avatar series. I do appreciate that 100%. Korra loses her bending. Our grounded the planes, Bolin destroys the one-ways. Asami is having a tank battle with her dad. Bonding time. Asami wins with the help of Bolin. One of Amon's supporters saw him bloodbend. Mako lightning bend Amon so him and Korra can get away. Amon catches up. Korra finally airbends in the ass pull because it doesn't feel on. It's like, well, she lost her bending, so she needs to do something. Airbend to save Mako. It doesn't feel rewarding because it's now what Tenzin has taught her about calming, relaxation. Even though there's different ways for people to clear their mind, she's obviously not in that like L-bending mindset to help her L-bend. So it just feels like, again, desperation. And you can argue that Amon blocking code shock, like she, body, whatever, might have triggered her to be able to L-bend. That's true, I'm not sure if that's confirmed or not, I didn't look it up. Still doesn't feel like a rewarding way to like handle the situation, even if that is what the creators were going for. So yeah, I feel lukewarm about Korra L-bending in this specific moment. And then Amon gets L-bend out of the window, causes him to wall-bend, loses his support, and also his scar on the face is fake. Honestly, I don't think you need to make the scar on his face fake. I think you could have kept that. But, you know, we gotta make him seem like, oh, he was alive the whole time. He has no point. Anyways, Amon escapes and goes back to get Tolok. Tolok blows up for both him and Amon, killing both of them. Which, it's like, try to be this tragic moment of Tolok, like, ending the life of both brothers. But, like, we don't see them together as brothers in present day. We see flashbacks of it. We see a bit of a bond they have, but, like, for me personally, not really enough to feel the full tragedy of what happened. Again, that's me. That's just me. Katara couldn't get Korra's bending back. Mako says he loves Korra, but she runs away. Well, I mean, first of all, fuck Mako to say that when, like, literally Korra's at her lowest point. He's like, I love you. What the fuck? Like, don't do that. Aang gave Korra back her bending, which is undeserved, and the ability to give people back their bendings, which raises a question about if past lives can pass down what they know to like the current avatar, why train with other teachers to learn bending? Why you can't like, oh, I got air bending from Aang, I got fire bending from Roku, I got earth bending from Kyoshi. You know what if I can say? Like, it makes teachers pointless. It feels teachers are pointless in the show and masters because it's like, why not just have the past avatars teach you that? Korra getting her bending back just because is also fucking stupid. Like, I give this, they only had 1 season to start with, but didn't have all 3 seasons greenlit. It was just like, You get one season, go. But it doesn't excuse them not being able to fit a convincing and satisfying way for Korra to get her airbending and get her bending back. I feel as much Afterthought, and again, Love L gets too much time, and if it knock down the likable parts of the Love L, which is most of the time that it's on screen, and focus on all the things, this season would be so much more enjoyable. Also, she also has the Avatar stay unlocked. Gotta throw in something extra. Fucking A gets Shenwan, fucking something extra for Piccolo. So Korra and Marco are a thing now. Fuck Asami. And Korra gave Len her bedding back. This episode's meh. Like, I like the fighting aspect of this, but like, everything else surrounding it is like, death. This needs death. You're not giving me the death. I'm drowning in shallow waters right now, and I need the death to make this feel good. The base ideas of this season are very good, but it's very surface level. And I feel like, again, this is a very great topic. You can take this any way, shape, or form you want to, but don't take it anywhere. It's very surface level. If it don't expose shit in terms of ideology and stuff like that, it's just like, Amon is bad, so what he's saying is bad. But it's like, okay, cool, but like, why? Like, why is his ideals not fully fleshed out? Or anything like that. It's just, Amon's bad. Okay, cool. He takes away bending. He's bad. He's a bad guy. He has a mustache. He's twirling it. On Event Max, you just don't see it. And it's like, more time. I know I said that with Crepe Caseo. Apply a bit to this 10 times. Actually, I should say better use of time. Because again, but Love L is a waste of time. It's not good. It makes the characters involved unlikable. Korra and Marco respectively more so than Asami and Bolin. Bolin got out early. Good for him. But Love L didn't touch him as badly as others. And it's just like, yeah, like, the animation is beautiful. Like, most characters don't get on my nerves. But like, you don't do anything interesting with these characters, really. Korra somehow has the worst moments and best moments at the same time, and that really hurts her, because this could be a great character, but I feel like they don't push her far enough to make her that excellent character that I know Korra can be. So with all that being said, I would give The Legend of Korra Season 1 a 6 out of 10. So thank you all for coming out. If you like the review, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike the review, give it a thumbs down. Pinkies out because we're fancy. And hit that subscribe button if you want to see more for us reviews. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.